Here we go. Okay, so today I'm Sageeta Wylie, and I am interviewing people around the world to talk about how this virus has affected them on any level, whatever they want to talk about. And today we're talking with Miêu in Saigon, Vietnam. I met Miêu last year in April, and we became best friends. And Miêu, would you just introduce yourself, please? In terms of who you are, what you do, whatever you want to say.
I'm a TV host, and on my spare time, which I don't have a lot, I write, and that's pretty much about me. I come from Saigon, and like you all know that the virus is everywhere, so it's here too.
Yes, there's no escaping this. There's no escaping.
There's no escape. There's no escape. We share that. Doesn't matter who we are, and even our wealth doesn't help. I have to say that I don't know how it happened in other countries, but in Vietnam, the class, the social class that was first attacked by the virus was the rich, the new rich, who traveled a lot, who would believe that their wealth or their social power would help them for some reason, would help them to stay away from all this tragedy. So they were the first victims of the virus. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah,
and I think we human beings, we've been through a lot of times like this before. So we have virus everywhere. So we have HIV, which is like way more dangerous. But I haven't seen people rushing to places to buy condom like they did to toilet paper. So
that's an interesting observation. Very interesting observation. It's interesting what people actually hoarded in different parts of the world, and toilet paper seems to have come up big time over here and in Vietnam too, I assume. They were hoarding toilet paper.
No. It's we don't have that story going on with toilet paper, and we don't really get it. You know, we don't really get the reason why. We're like, yeah, we wipe and we keep things clean in many different ways, and we haven't run out of toilet paper yet. But there was a time that we could not find a mask and hand gel in town. But that lasted for like about a week until the local factories start to stand up on their own. We learned our lessons of depending on other sources, like the neighbor source from China, to provide us with basic stuff like that, mask and hand gel. So this is the great time for the country or the countries to learn how to provide themselves with basic things like that. So we have other sources for material, for manufacturing from India or other countries that would make things easier, since the borders then was closed and it was really hard to import the material to manufacture all these masks and hand gels. So I think I believe in God, so I believe in lesson behind everything. So I'm observing my country learning our lessons. It's amazing.
Well, and my observation is Vietnam has always been able to take the lesson and emerge from so much tragedy. That's what I've learned from studying very little, but that it's always impressed me that it's almost like Vietnamese can take nothing and make something out of it, that they know how to make better of a situation. So it's interesting. So what you're saying is the factories weren't making the masks before, and now they've switched over to making masks. Is that correct?
Yeah, you've got to learn that way to manage on your own, since you are small, you are little, and you don't have much. We are small people from a small country. So that is a blessing. We have the ability to learn really fast, to manage, to survive. And I learned all that before in the books, in the history. So this is my blessing, that in my lifetime I can witness my country or mankind going through things like this. I mean, like I was born after April of 1975, so I did not have my chance to witness anything like war or like big tragedy like this. So this is my time to learn a lot about myself, about my society, about the people of Vietnam. They learn fast. Evil things here and there, but especially in Saigon, the kindness and the generosity of the people here is in their blood. Instead of gathering foods and stuff for themselves, they invented, like we call it rice ATM, where poor people can just go there and get like 2 kilograms of rice for everyone. We share food like immediately, and we don't even have poor people rushing to those machines to get food. They would always refuse, say like, I still survive, let's just save this for someone else who have harder time. And so I'm choosing to look at the bright side of things.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've always, that's my impression of you anyways, that you have that ability to find not just the bright side, but like you said, you do believe in God, and you do believe you have a spiritual side to you. And I've talked about this with a friend of mine from Malta, because he actually is an ordained minister as well as an actor and other things. And, just what this thing can mean in terms of a spiritual sense, if we're able to take the lessons from this. And I've been calling it a reset. It's not just a reset for countries to become independent, but for our own independence as people within families, and to learn how to be self-sufficient, right? And also to learn that a lot of things we've been privileging ourselves with don't really matter in this situation.
Yeah. Well, I had a talk with my son. I mean, he's young and he's out to be out there, connect with his friends, and in the time that we had to isolate ourselves at home, I was most worried about him. He's 25 now, and I cannot say to an adult that you have to stay home, my house, my rule. I don't do that. I just try to explain the situation to him. And after all, I say, this thing, this tiny little virus, we cannot see it. And it comes from the country that we don't have a very good impression about our neighbor, China. So if this was really invented by men, then we do not want to make ourselves the victim. We do not allow this tiny little dirty virus and the evil people behind it turn us into victims. And the key is so simple: just wash your freaking hands. We learned that since we were like 4 years old, how difficult it could be. Wash your hands. Don't talk to strangers. Don't spit in one another's face.
Yes.
And we learned many lessons. Me myself, I learned to entertain myself. I mean, if you cannot feel good at your own home with yourself, how could you entertain other people?
It's very true.
I first of all, I thought this 22 days would be great chance for me to write and to create this and that, to be creative. And then I learned, no, I could not write a word, not a single word. I started my day very early because I went to bed early. You don't have anywhere to go to. You don't step out of your door. So I don't have this energy exchange with the community around me, with Saigon. I write mostly about the life in Saigon. So I and my bed became one. I could feel myself absorbing into my bed. So I and my bed had become one. We become like one, the
You
whole.
become like reunited, right?
And so I said to myself, you've got to be energetic as you have always been, Miêu. Get up and create something. And then I could not. I said like, okay, you don't have to be positive. You're not in a positive time. And you don't have to pretend that you are productive every day. No, if you want to just lie there and feeling like, what the hell is going on, then it's natural. Just do that. Whenever you're hungry, get up and cook something for you, yourself and your family. You don't really have to be anyone at this time. Just be water, be flexible. If the atmosphere makes you doomed, then be doomed. Just be that. Just be blue. So I was like stunned in bed, like, what the hell is going on? We're going way downhill, people. This is it. This is it. We eat everything. We eat wild animal. We're paying. I don't eat wild animal, but since I'm human being, so I'm paying. This is it. Goodbye world. Goodbye sunshine. Goodbye dogs and cats. This is it. We're going way downhill, people. This is the time.
I'm so glad you say that, because I think that a lot of us can relate to that, but not everyone's going to say it. But we all are going through these roller coasters of like feeling like we have to be productive, but then there's days we just can't get out of bed and we're drained. But then I remind myself, I don't have to get out of bed. There's no reason to get out of bed. And so if there's anything in this grand span of lifetime where you actually have a pause, this is it. And to embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been to Saigon. You know how Saigon is.
Mm-hmm.
We are people, we're like party goers at heart. We want to go out, we want to drink our beer, and we have
so much beautiful
our
life.
lousy nightlife. Whatever. We have to sit down at a coffee shop to work or to talk over business, and we have to go out there and mingle. And now we don't do that. We cannot do that. And it's just a matter of habit. It's just a matter of habit. And I allowed myself to be normal. I don't have to be a hero.
You're right about the habit thing. I mean, I feel like we have all I know myself, you have habits and you realize, things are not, you don't necessarily realize that certain habits have become part of your everyday that were once treats, for instance, or things that you have started to take for granted a little bit. And so to come back to, like you say, being happy with yourself, you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. That's what I've always said. And it's the same thing as what you say about you have to be able to entertain yourself before you can entertain anyone else. And so if you like who you are in that solitude, this is a chance to actually hold, to not have to be accountable to anybody. And that's a gift, I think.
I always thought of myself as a very introvert kind of lady. I would think deep and I would talk deep conversation. Everything about me was deep. And after 2 days being locked down at home, I said, like, I am not introvert. I'm all about going out there. I'm all about people. I'm all about connecting. I'm all about like presenting myself. And I am not introvert. Get me out of here. I cannot live without makeup on my face. I cannot wear a mask. This is killing me. Get me out of here. Let me see people that I could perform to. I could like dress up and that is me. I'm the material girl. I don't care. I'm not introvert. I don't live by reading books. I hate it.
And what did you come up with after a couple of days? Because I think so many of us think, oh, we're introverts, but then we get cut off from society and then we're like, I'm not really
we're
that.
not. people, we are not. I mean, like, I had this one book by my bed, written by my friend, a very dear friend of mine who's now living in California. He's Vietnamese, and this is When You Touch Sadness. What a lovely title. And I haven't finished it!
And that's okay.